Student, we will start our next topic. Name of the topic is link state routing with OSL. OSPF. Link state routing with OSPF. So where OSPF, that stands for Open Shortest Path First. Next we have so open shortest path first, that is offers loop free topology. So what is the basic need of OSPF? What is the basic benefit of OSPF? That is, it offers loop free topology. Loop free topology, that is and loop free topology होगी और उसका जो data है, that is it transfer is faster than the others. Faster than the other. So whenever we are talking about the OSPF, we always compare with the RIP. So here RIP is a routing information protocol. So RIP is like a cross sign in mobile. For example, if we are taking the example of RIP, so that is RIP is like a cross sign in a mobile. When we are getting call from anyone, जब call आती है तो there is two ways to accept the call.
है
ज्वाइन करो ना
नहीं
देख लो
So there are two ways. जब आपके पास कॉल आती है, whether आप कॉल को रिसीव करते हो और उसको कैंसिल करते हो. So RIP is like a cross sign in a mobile phone, and OSPF is like a Google map which know the path. क्योंकि जब आप क्रॉस साइन पे क्लिक करते हो तो आपको ये नहीं पता था कि पाथ क्या है इसका, कहाँ से कॉल आ रही है, कहाँ पे कॉल जा रही है. So in the case of OSPF is like a Google map which knows the complete path. So next is what does it mean? Open shortest path. So for example, it's our network. In first feature of OSPF is a minimal routing traffic. Minimal routing traffic. So in the case of RIP, they send entire routing table. In the case of RIP, they send entire routing table with each other. Suppose if we are talking about the RIP V1 version 1, that is broadcast the data, and if we are talking about the RIP V2, that is version 2, that is that support the multicast addressing. In the case of OSPF, in the case of OPF, they only update and send. Only updates. अगर कोई router पे update हुए, then they will send the updates only. Only update. But in the case of RIP, they send entire routing table. So second feature example, if we are taking the OSPF, that is rapid conversion. So in that case, there is no timer. There is no timer, and they only find the shortest path. They only find the shortest path without any delay. Without any delay. It means no delay is there in the case of OSPF. But in the case of RIP, there is delay. And third one is scalable. So scalable, that means there is no hop count. When we are talking about the RIP, there is a number of hop counts. In the case of OSPF, there is no hop count in the case of OSPF, but in RIP, there are hop counts. There are hop counts. For example, 15. When we are talking about this from 0 to 15. So if 16 comes, they will not work with the hop count. It will use large. It will use large or medium size of network. Then each router know all the routers. So fourth one, that is accurate route matrix. So accurate route in RIP. In RIP, that depends upon the hop count. Hop count. In the case of OSPF, that depends upon the spread of the network. क्योंकि जितना बड़ा नेटवर्क होगा उतना ही उसको अपडेट करने में मे भी टाइम लग सकता है, but it is faster than the RIP. OSPF is faster than the RIP. So first, if you first you have to know about what is hope. So hope that term that refers to the number of routers that a packet, or we can say that a portion of data that passes through the from its source to its destination. So OSPF is much better than RIP. So next we have OSPF conversion behavior. So now check how OSPF conversion behavior. And suppose you have 3 routers. We are taking same example. Suppose we have 3 routers, router A, router B, and router C. And here we are applied OSPF. So suppose we have 3 router A, B, and C, and we configure with OSPF. So first LSA flooding. So in LSA flooding, all router which share LSA with each other. So LSA, they first share LSA. So LSA that stands for link state advertisement. So all LSAs are shared with LSDB. So LSDB, as shown in the example, first LSDB to SPF algorithm. So once SPF algorithm runs, then shortest route are designed or stored in the IP routing. Suppose router A receive advertisement from router B. Suppose router A it receive LSA from where? Router B and router C and from router B, from both sides. In RTB, in router B and router C have one common device like host A. And suppose speed or connection between router A and router B is 100 kbps. Suppose this is the speed 100 kbps. So which one is faster? So this all calculation that depend done with the SPF algorithm. So because that depends upon the advertisement. So that the data goes to LSA flooding, then first goes to LSDB, then LSA to router 1, 2, and 3. So next we have router IDs. So router ID is used to identify the router, or it is a unique ID. It is a unique ID. So each ID is unique from each other. कि जितने सबके routers हैं, सबकी जो ID रहेगी वो unique ID रहेगी. And value is similar with IP, like whether it is 32-bit, whether it is 128. So in OSPF v4, in the case of OSPF v4, there's no need to assign any router ID. In the case of OSPF, no need to assign any router ID. But in the case of OSPF v6, it is mandatory to define. Otherwise it will not work. In the case of OSPF v6. So if loopback interface is not available, if loopback interface is not available, then router choose the physical address. Router choose the physical address. Physical address, that is your system's IP address. So in the case of OSPF, it support multiple network types. It support multiple network types. For example, multiple type like broadcast, point to point, non-broadcast, or multi-access. Fourth one is point to point, point to multicast. So, in the case of OSPF support multiple network, these are the types. NBMA. So in that case, whether we are using Ethernet network, whether we are using Ethernet, whether we are using serial link, or whether we are using HDLC, point to point protocol, whether we are using frame relay, ATM, and whether we are using no layer 2 network. So when we are talking about the layer 2 network, that is we are talking about the single LAN. So OSPF support network types. So another is point to point. So whether we are talking about the Ethernet in the case of broadcast, so even though it is point to point protocol network, if you choose serial interface to another network, then it could be like automatic taken as a triple B network. So this is a way to assign the OSPF and identifying the OSPF. So next we have OSPF support network types. So there are two other types of NBMA and point to point, point to multi-point. So NBMA that use frame relay interface switch. So this network behave like a broadcast network. In the case of point to multicast, collection of multiple point to point link. So there is no default network type, but you can use any frame relay type. So next we have designated router and backup designated router. So next in designated router and backup designated router. So before the start of first, you people must know about the term that is DRBDR. Because first DRBDR election happened. So where DRBDR, that is broadcast and NBA, the types of DRBDR elections. So there is they need in this example all the routers are. If we are taking the example as shown on the screen, all the routers are just wait. So in the given example, all the routers are connected with same network on a same LAN, and they have no share router with each other. And sorry, they have to share routers with each other. So because they have to know about the topology, so that means they have to share LSA with each other. So all routers know about our neighbors. कि कौन किसका neighbor है? They all know each other. So in that case, we first find the adjacency means they know about the neighbors as well as the LSA of each other. So or we can say share router root. Basically, they share root with each other. So there are two terms, that is neighborship and adjacency. So neighborship, that means you only know about the about your neighbor. You only about you know about the only neighbors. कि सिर्फ आपको neighbors के बारे में पता होगा, neighbors का नाम पता होगा. Only name, nothing else. Suppose आपका neighbor है कोई भी, आपको simply उसका नाम पता है कि हाँ भी जो मेरा neighbor है उसका नाम अभी है. Suppose in the case of neighborship, and in the case of adjacency, because we have two types. Neighborship and adjacency. So neighborship means जिस केस में सिर्फ only name. So in the case of adjacency, that means कि आपको कंप्लीट उसके बारे में पता होगा, उसका नाम क्या है, उसके कितने बच्चे हैं, all about कहाँ वो काम कर रहा है. That means you know each and about know about your neighbor. So OSPF neighborship send hello. First they send hello packet with each other. So in every 10 seconds, or in case of every 10 seconds, they will share their hello packet. And वो hello packet की जो life है that dead within 40 seconds. So but in the case of NBMA, hello packet exchange every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds, and it will dead after every 120 seconds. So NBMA and 0.2 multi-point is same. So what would happen in 10 seconds and 40 seconds? So why we use DR-BDR election? So to why we are using DR-BDR elections? To avoid the LSA flooding. So because all routers that share LSA with all routers for making adjacencies. So if any router don't have DR-BDR in our network, so each router that would share LSA with each other. So formula for finding the adjacency, that is n minus 1 divided by 2. So suppose if we are taking about our example, in the case of there is n's value is 4. So 4 minus 1 divided by 2 is equal to 12 by 2 is 6. So that means maximum adjacency in that case, that is 6. So here n is the number of routers. Here n is the number of routers. As example shown in your screen, that is there are 4 routers. So that means there is a full mesh connection. So in this BDR, This is the backup route for DR routers. So use of DR BDR is to reduce the number of adjacencies. So because router A, router B, they are not directly connected with each other. As shown in the diagram, router A and router B जो है वो directly connected नहीं है आपस में. So one adjacency is less. So now we have 5. So early we have 6. Suppose we have 10 routers. So formula is 10. Suppose we have number of router is 10. So formula है हमारे पास n minus 1 divided by 2. So that means 10 minus 1 divided by 2. I'm going to write here 10 minus 1 divided by 2. Suppose the number of router is 10. 10 minus 1 divided by 2. So the value is here 9, 10 divided by 2. That means 90 by 2 is equal to 45. So in this router are so value is 45. So in this router are not directly connected. So they are connected with the help of DRBDR. So adjacencies in this case, suppose 10 router. So 10 minus 2. So in that case, 10 minus 2, that means DR and BDR. So value is 8. It means 8 are connected with DR BDR. So means so next we have neighbor state. So after election happened that based upon the router that inverts from STP, and that is highest to lowest. And in the case of OSPF, that is opposite. So once DRBD election happened, if we are talking about when DRBD election done, so neighbor don't share their LSA with each other. So these are the relationships. So next we have designated route election. So designated route, how designation route will election happen? They first send hello packet or hello protocol with each other. Then that the carrier the router ID that carries the basically that carries the router ID. So before going to next, I'm going to launch the full question for that. Going to launch the pool. I'm going to share the result. So before the first question is an administrator wish to manage the router in the remote branch office, which method you can use. So correct answer is Telnet. So with the help of Telnet, you can access the destination system. So before talking about the second question answer, I'm just going to show the sample paper of your as well as session paper as well as your final paper. आपका जो सेशन पेपर आएगा या फाइनल पेपर आएगा वो कैसा आएगा? Just wait. दिस इज द पेपर कि आपका जो पेपर रहेगा वो इस फॉर्मेट में रहेगा कि आपको सपोज ये फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन यही है जो भी हम लोग कर रहे थे पोल क्वेश्चन के अंदर कि एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर विश टू मैनेज द रूटर इन द रूट ब्रांच। करेक्ट आंसर इज टेलनेट। सेकंड था हमारे पास यही पोल का क्वेश्चन था। A host A has been connected to switch A via switch port this and configure with the IP address. When host A initially forward a frame, what action will be taken by switch A? So correct answer is B. Switch A will attempt to flood the frame to all ports except from this one. अब देखो यहाँ पे जितने भी क्वेश्चंस हैं इनके आगे कुछ भी नहीं लिखा हुआ कि नंबर ये सिंगल अटेम्प्ट है या मल्टीपल अटेम्प्ट है, बट आफ्टर 28 जैसे 21st क्वेश्चन है। So next we have link state establishment. So initially router has in down state. So when we starting the router, it will initially router has in down state. Down state and send hello message to the interval of 10 seconds. So each 10 second they share a hello message with each other, and hello message that contain क्या होगा क्या उस hello packet के अंदर, it will contain the router ID and area ID. उस hello packet के अंदर होगा क्या क्या, hello packet के अंदर आपके पास होगा router ID and area ID. So area ID, what does it mean? Area ID, that is area ID should be the same, and then they would become the neighbor. हो सकता है कि जो neighbors हैं उन दोनों का area ID सेम रहे, but router ID जो रहेगा वो always in unique. And after two way done, then here VDL action happen. So after two-way election happen, then here VDL election happen, then EX start. So EX start that exchange packets. It exchange packets 5 times. Five times packets. First one is hello packet. First one is hello packet. Second one is database descriptor. Okay. Third one is LSR. Fourth one is LSU. Fifth one is LSACP. So LSR, that stands for link state request. State request, and LSU, that is link state update. LSACK, that is link state acknowledgement. So in the case of STP, there are only two BBDU exchange. So XStart, that exchange a database descriptor packet. So database that represent the different sequence numbers. So next we have neighbor discovery. So neighbor discovery, this is a complete hello packet. It's a complete hello packet. So perform hello packet exchange with each neighbors, that is hello interval. So additional field that is that not used. So router priority. So router priority. So router priority is the priority range. So that range starts from 0 to 55. So router priority, that range that is from 0 to 255, and by default router priority is 1. By default router priority is 1. So if we assign 0, if we suppose if assign 0, so that means that router not part in the router election. That means that router is not part in the router election. So router dead interval. So in that case, router dead interval, that is the timer. That is the router timer. So if hello packet not received within 40 seconds, that means 4 hello packet will be lost by the destination. So their dead interval is active. So next in this case, that is designated router, backup designated router, and neighbors. We already discussed these all of the points. So next we have backup designated router election. So in that case, in order to improve the efficiency of the transition to a new designated router, a backup designated router is assigned. For each broadcast and NBMA network, the backup designated router is also adjacent to all router on the network and becomes the designated router when the previous designated router is failed. So if there were no backup designated router present, new adjacency would have to be formed between the new designated router and all other attached to the network. So next we have, that is database synchronization. So in a link state routing algorithm, it is very important for all router link state database to stay synchronized. So OSPF simplifies that this by the requiring only adjacent router that remains synchronized. So the synchronization process that begins as soon as the router attempt to bring up the adjacent. So each router that describe the database by sending a sequence of database descriptor packet. So कहाँ को ये database descriptor packet exchange करेगा? With the neighbors. So each database descriptor packet describe a set of LSA that belonging to the router database. So when the neighbor sees the LSA that is more recent, that it's on database copy, it makes a note that this newer LSA that should be requested. So this sending and receiving database descriptor packet is called the database exchange process. So during this process, the two routers from the master and slave relationship, each database descriptor packet has a sequence number. So database descriptor packet sent by the master are acknowledged by the slave through with the help of the sequence number. So next we have the establishing full adjacent. So during and after the database exchange process, each router has a list of those LSAs for which the neighbor has more up-to-date instance. So the link state requesting packet is used to request the pieces of neighbors database that are more up-to-date. So multiple link state request packets may need to be used. So next we have OSPF metric. So OSPF calculates the cost of an interface that based upon the bandwidth of the interface. So the calculation formula is cost of the interface so the formula is formula formula is the cost of interface is equal to reference value of bandwidth. So the reference value of bandwidth is that configurable for which the default is 100 Mbps. So with the formula cost of the interface that is dash bandwidth. So this gives a cost metric of 1562 for 64 kilobits. For a serial port, for example, we are taking 48. So alternatively, the costs that can be manually configured by using the OSPF cost command. So alternatively, the cost can be manually calculated by using the OSPF cost command to define the cost value of the for the given interface. So the cost value, the range for the cost value that is from 1 to 65535. But with the default cost value, default is 1. So next we have shortest path tree. So a router that has achieved a full state considered to have received all link state advertisement, that is LSA, and synchronize its link state database, that is LSDB. So with that of the adjusted neighbors, the link state information that collected in the link state database is then used to calculate the shortest path of each network. So next we have OSPF area, single area. So smaller network that may involve a select number of routers which operate as a part of the OSPF domain. So these routers are considered to be part of an area which is represented by an identical link state database for all routers within the domain. So as a single area, OSPF can be assigned any area. However, for the sake of future design implementation, it is recommended that this area is assigned as a 0, as shown in the diagram. Area that is 0. So next we have OSPF areas, multi areas. So the need to forward link state advertisement of subsequent calculation of the shortest path that based upon the link state database that becomes complex as more and more router become a part of the OSPF domain. So as such, OSPF is capable of supporting a hierarchy structure to limit the size of the linked state database and the number of calculations that must be performed when determining the shortest path to a given network. So the implementation of multiple areas that allows an OSPF domain to compatible and the calculation process that based upon the link state database that is only identical for each area, but provides the information to reach all destination with the help of OSPF domain. So certain routers that known as the area border routers, that is ABR. So next we have OSPF network advertisement. So this is establishment of OSPF within as AS domain that requires that each router that is to participate in OSPF first enable the OSPF process. This is achieved using the OSPF command. OSPF command, where the process ID can be assigned and represent the process with which the router is associated. So if router are assigned different process ID number, the first separate link state database with the creator based upon the each individual process ID, where no process ID is assigned, the default process ID of one will be used. So the router ID that can be assigned using the command OSPF router ID, OSPF, then process ID, then router ID, where router ID that refers the ID that is assigned to the router. Then is configuration value. Configuration value always be used with the help of display command. So just type display space OSPF pair. तो आपको complete pair बता देगा कौन सा pair आपने use किया हुआ है. So next is OSPF authentication. So OSPF is capable of supporting authentication that to ensure that routers are protected for malicious actions that may result from manipulation or damage to the existing OSPF technology, topology and routers. So OSPF that allows for the use of simple authentication as well as the cryptographic authentication that which provide the enhanced protection against potential attacks. So authentication is assigned on a per interface. So this is with the command for simple authentication of the command for that is OSPF authentication hyphen mode. Or we can say that is simple plain text cipher text null value. So in that case, where plain applies a clear text password, plain applies the clear clear text password, and cipher is a cipher text. Cipher is a cipher text password to hide the original content and null to indicate the null authentication. So cryptography, when we are talking about the cryptographic authentication that is applied using the OSPF authentication mode. Authentication mode, and after that we type MD5, then hmac-md5, then key ID, then text, cipher, text. So this is the command. So in this case, MD5 that represent the cryptographic algorithm for securing authentication over the link. So with its configuration, they demonstrate with the given example. So the key identifies the unique ID of the cipher authentication in the interface. So the key ID that must consist of that of the peer. So next we have the configuration validation. So where authentication is applied, it is possible to implement the debugging to the terminal to view the authentication process, since the debugging may involve many events. So the debugging OSPF packet command. So here is a debugging OSPF packet command. This should be used to specify that debugging should only be performed the OSPF specific packets. So as a result, the authentication process that can be viewed to validate that the authentication configuration has been successfully implemented. So next is OSPF silent interface. So it is often necessary to control the flow of routing information and the range for which such routing protocols can extend. So this is particularly the case where connecting with external networks from whom acknowledged to interface router is to be protected. So in order to achieve this, the silent interface command that can be applied as a mean to restrict all OSPF communication via the interface on which the command is implemented. So after an OSPF interface is set to be in the silent state, the interface that can still advertise its direct routes. So hello packet on the interface, however, will be blocked, and no neighbor relationship that can be established on the interface. So the command, the silent interface gigabit Ethernet, जो भी आपका link रहेगा, that can be defined the specific interface that has a restricted OSPF operation. Or alternatively, the command the silent interface all that can be used to ensure that all interface under a specific process can be restricted from the participating in OSPF. So next is again configuration validation. So the configuration validation, how we can check the display configuration of the OSPF1. Then they will show the complete configuration part of the any command, whether we are applying the OSPF. So next we have the question: what is a process of date interval in the OSPF header? Can anybody just tell me the answer for first question? Anyone? If they know about, just raise your hand. Otherwise, I will explain these questions answers. So okay, what is the process of dead interval in the OSPF header? So basically there are two interval, whether it is hello interval and dead interval. So 4 hello packets not received, 1 hello packet. So for 10-second hello packet is making a link up. So second, in a broadcast network, will what is the multiple address that is used by the designated router DR and BDR for listening for link state update information. That is complete. We will continue next topic within 2 minutes. Okay, student. Our next topic is the DSCP protocol and principles. So basically, DSCP, what it is? So it is the dynamic host control protocol. So which is used to assign the IP address to the host. So there is two way to assign the IP address, whether we are talking about the manual assigning the IP address to a particular system, and second is auto configure DSCP. So auto configure, that means that IP is assigned with the help of DSCP server. कि हम लोगों ने किया था लैब में भी कि जिस केस में हम लोगों ने IP एड्रेस असाइन किए थे मैनुअली भी और ऑटोमेटिक. जब हम ऑटोमेटिक यूज करते हैं, दैट मींस ऑन दैट टाइम व्हिच प्रोटोकॉल इज वर्क आर DSCP प्रोटोकॉल. और मैनुअली हम लोग अपनी मर्जी से कोई भी IP असाइन कर सकते हैं. So it's an objective that is basically it's the function of the DSCP to configure the IP address. So in that case, describe the functions of DSCP to the interface. So in that case, we explain all the how DSCP work. So how we can configure DSCP pools for addressing leasing. So this is DSCP application in the interface network. So how this process starts? So first DSCP work in the LAN environment. Then DSCP server means ISP, when where we are assigning the gateway address to the system. So first request IP address with the help of DSCP protocol. First it will send request, IP request to the DSCP server. Then DSCP server assign IP address to the particular जहां से उसको request आई होगी. Then after that is address allocation mechanism. So address allocation mechanism that is based upon the DSCP server. So basically there are three types, whether it is manual, automatic and dynamic. So when we are talking about the manual, that means the IP address that is assigned by the server. When we are talking about the auto, that means we are assigning the permanent IP address that is assigned by the DSCP server. And when we are talking about the dynamic is any time we can change the IP address. So DSCP that assign the IP address for 1 day, that is default lease time. 1 day is the default lease time. So next, that is DSCP messages. So what are the messages that are to receive the IP address? So first, when we add one system in a network, on that time they don't have any IP address. So when switch on, it says DSCP discover, only client broadcast used to locate available DSCP server. So after that, DSCP offer is unicast. It will give one IP address to the client from the specific pool. Then DSCP request. It confirms first IP address that gives the broadcast from the DSCP offer. So if system is reboot, on that case, which don't go to the DSCP discover and DSCP offer, just directly go to the DSCP request. Then it is DSCP acknowledgement. ACK. So that is the server configuration. So server send the request acknowledgement message back. Your IP is okay. So if server send that means negative acknowledgement, that means change your IP address. So DHCP release. So DHCP release, that is log off from the network or after 24 hours. So these all are about the DHCP messages. Next is DHCP address. So what that means, so here you can see the message flow. Host A, that is client and server. Host A send the DHCP. First they broadcast the message, I need an IP address. Then DHCP server request back to the host. That is broadcast. जो user रहेगा वो broadcast करता है. Maybe एक से ज़्यादा DHCP servers लगे तो वो broadcast करेगा. कोई तो मेरे को IP assign करेगा. जो एक server है वो उसको unicast एक DHCP offer unicast उसको apply करेगा. Then DHCP request broadcast or unicast third time. Then it will again acknowledge the unicast address. So before the start of conversation, host will assign as IP address by itself as all the zeros, 0.0.0.0 as a source ID, and 255 is the destination IP address for first message. For first message, if we are talking about the DHCP discover, so the first request, that is first request. So source ID on that case, first ID is 0.0.0.0. Destination ID is 255, 255, 255. For first message. Why broadcast? Why they broadcast the data? Why they broadcast the message? Because if your server will not reachable, then any server will reply back to you. अगर आपका सर्वर जो है वो आपको मे भी रिप्लाई नहीं कर रहा, तो जो भी सर्वर उस टाइम पे कनेक्टेड होगा, they will reply back to you unicast. So next we have DHCP lease renewal. So how renewal the lease? Suppose host A asked for the extension of the network, because the timing जो release time है वो 24 hours का है. So if DHCP server will not reply, that host A want to be wait to another half time, because वो half time के बाद request send कर देता है कि भाई मेरा half time हो गया, I need the lease renewal. Then is rebinding expiry. So rebinding expiry, if DHCP server will not reply, that host A wait for another half time and then again send DHCP request to the broadcast, because in previous case it is unicast. Then host A will get positive or negative acknowledgement. Then IP address release. So suppose after sending broadcast message, no server will reply to the host A. That means your lease is expired. So address pool. So now we will see pool configuration. So this is a way to assigning IP address to the from the given pool. So next is DHCP interface pool configuration. How we can configure with the help of first we are sending the DHCP enable request. Then goes to the interface, which interface you want to be applied this DHCP server. Then DHCP select interface, कौन से interface के अंदर आपने select किया है. Then so on. So next one is a DHCP configuration validation. So in that case, just type the display command. We already discussed about the display command. Simply just type the display IP pool interface. And after that, DHCP global pool configuration. Again, first DHCP enable, then IP pool 2, whether we are applying pool 2. So then the which network we want to be used. So network, suppose this is a network ID and this is a mask ID. Then the lease for 1 day, and after that they quit. Again display the configuration of pool 2. So these all are the practical implementation of the DHCP server. So these are the questions that belongs from this topic, because this is very short topic, छोटा सा topic है आपका. So first is which IP address should generally be excluded from the address pool. So that is 20 and 21. So the second question is what is the default IP address lease period. So first change privileges, then default FTP directory. So after that, any doubt? यहाँ तक के लिए किसी को भी कोई डाउट है तो वो कोई भी क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है. Otherwise, we will start our next topic. So our next topic is Telnet. So first, you will must know about the which port number Telnet is used. So port number for Telnet, that is 23. And Telnet is an application is used for remotely login in the any network device. As shown in the diagram, Telnet that client, the local configuration environment. We can use local as well as we can use it with the help of internet, where we are talking about the remote configuration environment, local configuration environment and remote configuration environment. जैसे हमने लैब में भी किया था ये पार्ट, जब हमने टेलनेट के थ्रू कॉन्फ़िगर किया था सिस्टम्स को. So next we have Telnet client server model. So client server model, it is based upon the kernel, or we can say the operating system of the router. So pseudo terminal driver and terminal driver to understand the commands. So next one is authentication mode. So FTP will have AAA only, and in Telnet there is 3. It is none, AAA, and password. So none means no authentication, and AAA means AAA authentication. Password means where we are assigning the authentication through the password. And next is Telnet configuration part. So let's see how Telnet configure. So first configure IP address. So here is VTY. So VTY is the vertical interface. So 04 means it allows 05 simultaneously user to log in virtually or remotely. So maximum is 15 users. So means VT5 014. So authentication mode is password. If you choose AAA as authentication mode, then configure username, password, telnet, then privilege level 3. So next is telnet configuration. So telnet configuration is suppose type telnet and the IP address and authentication if only is that is password. Then they will only ask password. After enter the password, you will enter the network. So इतना सा topic था. Then this is a question for what if the telnet services has been enabled, but a user is unable to establish a telnet connection. What are the possible reasons for this? So there are multiple reasons. There are multiple reasons. जैसे like उसमें से जो पोर्ट है वो ब्लॉक हो सकती है, कनेक्शन फेलियर हो सकता है, इनवैलिड पासवर्ड हो सकता है, ऑथेंटिकेशन फेलियर हो सकता है. So these all are the possible reasons for that. So any doubt, students? Okay, students. टेक केयर. अगर कोई भी डाउट रहे तो आप लोग मेरे से पूछ सकते हो. देन आई एम गोइंग टू एंड द मीटिंग.